So in this segment, it's probably going to be a short one. I just want to discuss the kind of media's non-recognition of the rejoin the EU march. So I got this story from a patron. He messages me. It's in a Danish paper. So obviously hit with the Google Translate into English. But it says Brexit still sucks. Thousands took to the London streets, and you've got it was a big turnout. I think I wasn't there at the Rejoin EU march, but there's a lot of people that turned out, and foreign media outlets covered it. We'll discuss that now, actually. So I tried to check Channel 4 Rejoin EU march. Tried to see if Channel 4 covered it. So you got AFP, which I believe aren't a British outlet. You've got obviously the Times and Sunday Times. They are a British outlet, but they're more print media. Print media generally does a better job than kind of TV media. You've got France 24 English, which is obviously French. I'm not familiar with the Daily Record, but again, there'd be small indie channel. But you've got kind of the Independent covering it against small, not small, but print media. The Guardian as well, which you wouldn't be too surprised to hear about. But Channel 4 didn't cover it. Very strange. They wouldn't be covering this huge protest. Again, very, very weird. The BBC, did they cover it? No, but I don't think the BBC have ever actually covered the Rejoin EU march. Even the Express covered it. So it's very. This is kind of how the media can manufacture consent. It's not just about the news stories you choose to cover. It's about the news stories you don't choose to cover. And so by choosing not to cover this, and I think the BBC actually covered one of the kind of Brexit marches, the one that came from that Farage was running when only a couple hundred boomers turned up. But it's kind of sad that the TV kind of outlets didn't cover this, as far as I can see. I don't get why they wouldn't just mention it in passing or something like that. It just looks very much like certain Mr. Gibbo might have his hands in it, or someone else. Because I don't know why you wouldn't cover this. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of people turned out. There were some good speeches there, some other bits and pieces there, which we'll discuss. But it's kind of, we have this kind of thing in the UK where I think it looks like the majority of people want to rejoin the EU, which again, the possibilities of that are very slim. But if it's in the public kind of discourse, it's a good thing this time round compared to last time. So there's this. But the politicians don't really want to talk about it. You've got the Lib Dems don't want to talk. Only the Greens actually do. The Lib Dems don't. The Labour Party really don't. The Conservatives kind of don't really mention it either. So you have kind of a country where it's just not, things are not being discussed properly. The things that are important to people, and this is a way of kind of manufacturing consent, I guess, or creating this idea that maybe people in the UK don't care about the EU. That's something Ed Davey said. No one's talking about Brexit. You've got polls after polls saying people do want to rejoin the EU. Yeah, it's just above 50%, but it's still above 50. You've got thousands of people at this rejoin EU rally. But where's the coverage about it? You had foreign news outlets covering this stuff, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't know why kind of Channel 4 and the BBC didn't cover this. It's kind of sad, but this is one of the reasons why we are where we are. It's because the media should do a crappy job, and it's. And I'm sorry, I'm sighing a lot, but sometimes I struggle for words. Despite the fact that I'm a person who talks a lot for YouTube. I just kind of get annoyed about how crap the media are at certain jobs, at their role. You had about, apparently, according to the Independent, about 3,000 so-called rejoiners turned up. That's a decent chunk of people going all the way down to London to protest. You do have, I think, limits on the amount of people. There was also another protest in London about the XL bully dog, or whatever it's called, the big dog that's been in the news recently. Obviously, when it comes to dogs, it's more about how they're raised versus the nature of a dog, which, as a person who owns a cat, even I know that. But yeah, I wish the media did a better job, and instead of trying to control the narrative in certain areas, I'm not getting all conspiratorial on you, but it's very clear that this was a big protest and the media didn't cover it. And so, I wish they would do a better job. Even if they just mention it in passing, it would have been better. But it just goes to show you how easy it is to control agenda, because it's not just about what you cover, it's about what you don't cover. And these are the things that are important. So I just want to do a quick one for you guys to tell you that, do I care that much about these kind of protests? I don't care much about protests in general, but I guess it does show to kind of the rest of the EU that not all the lunatics have taken over, and it's just, I think it's an event. There's Political X there with his shades. I think it's kind of an event that kind of shows people that they're not kind of alone when it comes to wanting to rejoin the EU. That it can get a bit isolating, depending on where you live in this country. But anyways, I'm at risk of rambling, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you were there and how you thought it went, and I'll try and catch you in the next one.